Hi everyone, it's Laura. Welcome back. I have an array of things on my work table. We're going to make some purse charms. I kind of planned on this video before I talked to my friend Vicky. Tomorrow is her birthday, so I have to go to town anyways. So we're going to meet and have a light bite to eat, and then we're going to go to a thrift store. I got a couple things I want to pick up. I haven't been to this thrift store in like a year. So anyways, I want to make her a purse charm. And I'm going to use this for hers. And then I'm making myself one. And I'm going to make a couple more so that you can see different ways to make them. I know she has kitty cats, so I am using one of these check kitty cats for hers. These check flowers. And then a lot of the stuff is also from Bargain P.O Box, like these little glass beads. Oh gosh, I can't remember what this is called, but I'll remember. But I got a couple strands of those. I'm going to probably put this little birdie on the very bottom, and maybe something else from my little pile of goodies over here. I'm not sure. But we're just going to get this going and put this together. I'm going to grab I want to get some of those on my table. I was at Walmart today, and I was like, I know I'm missing like silver this and silver or gold that, but which is it that I'm short on? It's silver head pins and gold eye pins. So I didn't want to do what I did the last time and get the wrong things, so I'm getting a bunch of both out here. And we're going to be making a bunch of components. The cat, of course, is going to be hanging probably between all of this. So everything's going to be on a loop. I probably should be playing my video that went up today. I'm behind the game, guys. I'm so sorry. Let me go. Yeah, I'm a little, like I said, behind the game. Getting my own video playing here. YouTube. It's a little hissy if you don't play your own video within like a short amount of time. So I'm going to go ahead and put that on. We're going to put the flower on. Find the little hole. There he is. Well, maybe not. There it is. It's hiding. And then we're going to put another one on. So it looks like he has leaves. And I am going to, I've got all kinds of stuff laying here, guys. I'm going to clip that off. I have a little plastic dish right there that it's all going into. And I'm just going to simply roll towards the back and make a loop. And I'm going to bring it forward. And then I'm going to close that loop. Like that. And then that is ready to go on when I'm ready. And I'm going to do the same with the kitty cat. He's going to also be on a head pin, but I kind of don't want to put just the kitty cat. Let's see if I can find a little bead for the kitty cat to sit on. Let me put this phone someplace out of our way and let it just play. How about we use just seed beads? There we go. So these are 11-0 Tohos. I always have some ready in a dish. That looks so much better, and the kitty cat moves more freely. Again, we're just going to clip off about that much. I'm going to roll back. And then I want to reach in and roll this forward. And then I want to continue that loop like so. And the kitty cat's ready. Botswana agate. Told you guys I would remember. Let me see. I have some. They may be too big, but I do have others sitting close by somewhere. And never be afraid to mix metals. I kind of like it. It helps blend in the fall, the gold colors of the fall. I like it. So we're going to do that. Again, we're going to clip it. I went today and paid for my big event that is in Rich Hill. It is a really good event to go to, and let me go get my good sturdy 6mm. Actually, let's see what I've got right here. I think I have, I don't know if those are going to go through that. That's a pretty big chain. Yeah, they won't swing. All right. I just wanted to make sure I didn't already have them over here. I did. Okay. I'm glad I looked beside me. And then I can use the small ones. And then I'm going to go ahead and get 1, 2, 3, 4 for those. Anyways, I went and paid for that today. Got that done. So I'm locked in for one of my bigger events. And one of my older friends that I always, I've known for a long time, I do want to make sure that these are closed. I haven't been able to reach her. And she's up there in age. I'm talking like in her 70s. And her husband is quite a bit older than her. And I think he's like 88. Well, he was born in 32, so I'm going to put this on, and we're going to close that up. And I haven't been able to get a hold of her, so I reached out to my friend whose birthday is tomorrow, because her granddaughter is my other friend Zelda's granddaughter. They have, common grandmas there. And I was like, have you, heard from them? Because the lady I want to pay today, she hadn't heard from her, because my friend always sets up there also. And she hadn't heard back from her. So she filled me in that what happened was that my elderly friend Zelda, she had fallen in the parking lot. She can't remember if it was Dollar General, Dollar Tree, but she had fallen and shattered her knee. And she kept trying to get people, and people were walking by her and wouldn't help her up, wouldn't call anybody, wouldn't, assist her in any way, shape, or form. And she's an elderly lady. I'm talking white-haired grandma, the whole 9 yards, and nobody would help her. It is just very, very sad. I don't know if I want to use that. But, yeah, she was out in that parking lot for almost half an hour before someone finally helped her. I lost that jump ring right in this pile of stuff. Here we go. I don't know what is wrong with people to walk by someone that's elderly and obviously is in distress, has fallen, and is hurt. She fell, I think, getting out of her vehicle. So she couldn't even get up because she was in so much pain, and her purse was not in her hand when she fell. So this is going to be so cute. It does need more dangly. What do I want to put on there besides this little bird? How about life is good? We'll put that on. And it already has a jump ring on it. So we'll find the split. And we'll put that on right down there next to that bird. She is healing, and she's about to get the brace off, and yeah, she's doing really well. And I did get to talk to her. She did call me back. She had just been so busy, and finally called me back. and it was wonderful to get to speak to her. So it's disheartening that people could walk by somebody like that. So scoot this all off to the side. So this is for my friend Vicky for her birthday tomorrow. Little kitty cat charm for her purse. And now I'm going to make one for my new purse. When you see that video, it'll be a few days, but you know, it'll be out. And I'm going to go ahead and use gold. So those are straight pins. I need some head pins or eye pins. Not sure why I got so many straight pins out. Just me. And I am going to make oh, I know what I forgot to do. Hold on, guys. Okay, so what I've done is I have gotten out some wildfire. This is in black or smoke. This is by Beetlon. As you can see, it is a 0.006 or 0.15 millimeter. And I am simply going to start. You can see there's all these little tiny holes in this, and that's what we're going to use. I'm going to come right here at the very, I want to go to the tip, yes, because there's going to be a cat hanging there, so I want to help balance that out. And I am simply going to turn this over after going through there, and I'm going to lay this down. This is about, I don't know, I probably got way too much, but I'd rather have too much than not enough. I am going to tie here at the back once, and then I'm going to do a double knot. I got about probably 2 feet. Once and twice, and I'm going to draw it down. Now I don't have a thread burner. I will take a match, and after I'm done I will burn that tail off. Now what I'm going to do is from this corner I'm going to take my size 10 beading needle. I'm going to pick up 1 11/0 Toho, one of these little blue ones. These are not in this month's bargain bead box. These are the small, I believe they are 4 millimeter, maybe a 5 that I got a while back. These are these flat shell beads that we got in this month's bargain bead box. I'm going to pick up 1 more of the blue indigos, 1 more 11/0, and then I'm going to pick up this little bird, and I'm going to go through the loop of the bird. Whoops, I missed him completely. And we're going to draw all this all the way up to there. I'm going to come back through the loop of the bird, or back around, and I'm not going to go through the loop of the bird, but I am going to go up through the 11/0, up through all these beads, and I'm not going to miss a single bead. I'm going to go all the way up through. Oh, I got my pliers in the way here. And we're going to draw our thread up. Pull your bird down and then pull your thread back through, and this will tighten up your thread. And you want to do that so that you're, I gotta do this while it's laying down, guys. Let's lay him down. Lay the beads down. and just put your finger on him and just kind of start drawing everything up. You want this to come all the way up to the bottom of your crescent moon. And then I'm going to go back through the front of the crescent moon where I came out of, back through to the back. I'm caught on my tools again. Not sure why it's not wanting to go through there. There we go. And if it's too tight, just kind of ease it back. Because you do want this to dangle. And then I'm going to wrap it around and come back around to the front and go back through that again. But I'd want to make sure that it doesn't wrap around my beads. And I don't want my tail thread caught up in there, so I want to pull that on out of there. And this will help steady that right there. Now I'm going to come over. I want to give this plenty of room. So I'm going to come over to this filigree right about, I'll find the from the back. If my needle will go through it. Right there. The end of my needle is a little bigger than it wants to let through it, so I may not be able to use that one. Yeah, let's not force it because I don't want to break the thread. So let's go to the bottom of this. Whoops, I wanted to go through that one real easy. Nope, it's stopping it. Okay. So let's go to the next filigree that is bigger. Come out through there. It's okay to have that extra space because we do want that string out of there. I looked up to make sure that I had remembered to unpause you guys. There we go. And we're going to lay this down. Again, 1 11-0, one of the indigo blue, one of these shell beads, indigo blue, 11-0. We're going to put these all the way up. These we're going to make sure are hanging down farther. And I think that'll be fine. Because we're going to put a big leaf on the very end. From the front through to the back. And then back up through all of these. Just like that. And again, I'm going to snug this up. I don't want to snug it too tight because we're coming through the front, way up here. So we're going to go back through the same hole we came out of. And instead of doing like we did here and went through the bottom, I have a little kink. I'm going to straighten that kink out. There we go. We're going to wrap around the top, but I want to pull that a little more snug. So we're going to lay that down and work it. Alright, and then we're going to come through the top and around because there's just too far to go. Just to secure that in place. I have to pull it towards me, guys, sorry. I have to be able to see what I'm doing. So we have this. This string will be disappearing. And then I'm going to come over and I'm going to come through this bottom filigree right here. This is nice and big. Come out the front. And I'm going to pick up one of the 11 O's, a blue, a shell bead, a blue indigo if I can get a hold of it. Now I was toying with making this one longer because it's going to have the star. It'll bring that star way down, like to here. Kind of like that. Let's do that. So we're going to add an extra shell bead, another blue indigo, and then our 11O. Just like this. Bring it all the way down. We're going to put our star on. All the way back up through each bead. You want to make sure you don't miss any, especially when you're working with this many. And just like that. And if you pick up your piece and you do this and one flops, you know you're missing one. Alright, we're going to hold our star and we're going to snug. And we need to go up a little bit farther. Snug it. Need to back it down just a bit. There we go. I'm going to go back through where I came out of. Right there. And I'm going to go around in the back and back through the front. And that will hold that all in place. Now I have my thread in the back. And I want to pull that snug, and I'm going to go through it one more time So I'm coming from the front into the back, and I'm holding my thread right here in my fingers. I'm going to go through that loop once and twice, and I'm going to snug that down. Now this is not like working with regular thread. It's going to want to kink up on you. It's going to say no, it's too tight, and you're going to want to work with it. And I probably should have just done one knot here and then gone back and done two. But we'll just, if I have to, I can back this back out. Just by taking hold of just that knot and working it back up. And going a little slower. And drawing it. And there you go. And then I'm going to go through that whole bunch of thread that's right there underneath it all. And there's a loop. I'm going to draw that loop really tight, small, not tight. So you can see it's smaller. And then I'm going to go through it just one time. I'm going to snug it. And I'm going to do it one more time because this is my final knot. And I don't want this to fall off. Because if it unknots here, I lose everything that I put on here. So let's snug it down. And of course, you know, once you burn this, it's going to create a nice big fat like bead on there. Let me get my regular scissors and we'll cut this. And I'm cutting it long because I'm going to come back in here. These are not my good scissors. I'm going to come back in here and we'll trim all that off. But we're not going to do that right now. So I will trim this one shorter though, so it's not looking quite so bad. There we go. So this is what we've got for our dangles off our moon. Now let's go ahead and finish up. I will stick my needle right here where I don't lose it. Let's go ahead and get our kitty cat. There's what our moon looks like. I want to get our kitty cat on a head pin. Because he is riding solo here. Maybe if I have another seed bead to put under him. Like so. This came from my dear friend Jody. Look at this kitty. He's so cute. And then I'm going to cut this nice and short. I'm going to do a really small loop at the top. And I will close that loop with my pliers. Turn it around. And I'll close it just like I would a jump ring. Like that. Now I am going to get a small jump ring to put right there, but I want to use a good one. So let me use a silver one because I know when they close good. And I don't mind mixing metals, guys. I really don't. So you're going to see gold, copper, silver, all that on this one piece. I'm going to put this right here. Gosh, I remember how hard it was to do this with this. Wait, come back here. All right, let me make sure my kitty is closed. because I'm probably going to have to use a bigger jump ring. And I want to make sure the kitty doesn't come off. So we're going to squeeze that shut. And turn him sideways, make sure he's closed all the way. He needs to go just a tiny bit more. Stay put. It's hard to hold this when they're in between their ears and things like that. Okay, now we're all the way shut. I'm just going to go ahead and use a bigger jump ring because that is really thick. Open it wide. Get this on there. See how that swings? This is the struggle I had with this before. I think what I'll do is I will do it by hand. Put my kitty on. I may not have made my loop big enough. Alright, hold on. Okay, so I finally did it. I used one of the copper jump rings. The gold was too large. It just wouldn't work. I did put a different head pin in there because the kitty cat dangled too far. So we're going to take this and we're going to put one of these check glass turban beads. This is I believe they called it a violet. It kind of reminds me of a foggy morning. It just does. It's pretty. And then I'm going to use another of these little turban beads. And again, we're going to trim this. Just a second, guys. Okay, a neighbor looking for Alan. So we're going to, I cut a bunch of that off. We're going to, and I probably cut it too short. I did. That's life, guys. Things are not perfect. Well, no, there they are. Right here under my nose, literally. But, do you make purse charms and things like that? They're great Christmas gifts. Great if you're setting up at vendor events, that kind of thing. There we go. Much better. Ta-da! And now I can add that to there, but I'm going to use one of these really big jump rings. So I'm going to go ahead and close this just like I would if I was closing up a jump ring. I'm going to make that straight. And then I also need a jump ring down here to connect those. Like I said, this one's for myself. This kind of slipped out of my hand. Yep, it's closed. And I will do the burning and everything off, not on the video. Now I don't necessarily need this big ring. I probably could take it off, and I might do that because this is just a purse charm. But I couldn't get just these at Walmart. I had to buy the whole jump ring thing, so, or the whole key ring. But for selling it, I will leave it as a key ring, and then they can decide if they're going to use it as a key ring or if they're going to use it as a piece, purse charm or whatever. So there's that. So this one is mine. I think he's cute. Don't ignore the little strings. I'll burn them off later. I like that. I love the kitty cat. Okay, now we're going to make the one that will be getting sold. So I have these really cool beads left over from, I really don't know. I have no clue. I have some charms we're going to add. We're just going to get this together. I will probably, are you kidding me? Guys, this doesn't go all the way through. No way. What about you? Do you go all the way through? But the hole is in really big. Okay, so we're going to put I guess we're going to put some bead caps on that one. Wow, that was a shock. Oh my goodness. Well, it kind of blings it up, don't it? And let's go ahead and clip. He looks weird, but he's on there straight. It's cute. Weird. Cute in an odd sort of way, isn't he? So let's go ahead and clip. So I probably won't do any more than just these 3, even though I do have stuff here to make 4 with you guys. And I am just using like random beads. And that hole looks pretty big too. We need something on the end. I have one of those laying here. I have one of those. I wonder how silver would look. And this big square one. Kind of like it. Let's go for it. Why not, right? Let's do it. There's that one. This one is just going to hook with jump rings, and I need to make sure a jump ring will fit through that. Let me get... I really don't know what I did with my jump rings. I know those are too small. Right under my elbow. Okay. Let's see what happens. Alright, they're too thick. Let's go, that's the same gauge. I really wanted to use this, but if we can't get a jump ring through it, yep, that ain't happening. Okay. This. Well, let's see what else we can do. Cannot believe those were not drilled all the way through. That was a shock. Okay, let me pause you. Okay guys, so I have it figured out. I have, these are from the Walmart beads that you can buy. I think they'll look really good. Let's go ahead and do this. So this is going to be a longer purse charm. So I'm going to put, this is the one that's going to be on the end. It has a bigger hole, so we'll definitely put some 11/0. Tennis came right over it. Well, we're going to put I guess like that. We'll have to do. That was unique. These beads have some really big holes. Just saying. And then right about there. And I want to thank everybody for your support. I did join another company. It is a subscription service. I don't think it'll surprise any of you which one I joined. When you figure, you know, I have to be frugal with my money. So I'm careful with, you know, how much I spend. Let's see. It went right up inside of there. Where'd the bead go? There we go. So, you know, I have to keep that in mind all the time. And, it is what it is. You know, but I did want to bring something new to the table, a different company, and I think you guys will enjoy it. And yeah, I'm just waiting for it to get here. So there we have that. And then I have one more to do. And this one doesn't have a huge hole. We'll put the gold bead, the gold seed beads on this. That way the gold and the silver is all the way through the whole piece. And cut the extra off. And I probably cut that one too short. Oh, I slipped. Hold still, little dude. just close this up with the pliers. Just like that. Alright, so this will get fastened because I want this one at the top. So after I assemble this, this will be the last one I'm going to do. Like I said, I'll keep this one so it's either going to be a key ring or a purse charm. But I do want to make sure that it is closed. You hear that kind of grating there. There we go. And then this one. Because I knew he had to be finished closing. I'm just going to use that so I can finish closing this one. Stay put, little dude. Sometimes getting these to hold still is like pulling teeth. There we go. And then I want this one next. Open. Close. I'm going to put this one on next. Whoops, it didn't close. There we go. One last one. And he is done. Oh my gosh. Oh, I didn't put any dangles on him. I don't think he needs dangles, guys. I think he's fine just the way he is. Look at that. And he's shiny. Really shiny. So there is one. We'll get that out of our way. Get all this excess off our table for the moment. So there is one charm. This is mine. And this is the one that I made for my friend. See if they're all in the picture okay. Because I have you guys way up in the air because I knew what I was making is really big. So I have a bunch of stuff to make more with, but this is good. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. I really appreciate you all. And I hope you enjoyed watching how to add a fringe to something. That's something I probably don't think I've ever shown. I will be putting a fringe on some earrings that I think you'll like that video. It'll be later this week. Love you all, and I'll talk to all of you guys down in the comments below. Bye, everybody.